are in early learning or preschool settings, can I please see some form of breath work here? All right, elementary level. Okay. Special education. Any special education personnel, psych social workers, OT, PT, all of my friends here. Great, come on in. Find a stone and then go ahead and find a space. Junior high, high school. Okay. Oh, we have everything. That's wonderful. And specials teachers like fine arts, PE, LRC. Okay, great, great, great. And organizations, or parent. Organizations, parent. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Yes. Administration. Yes. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So, am I forgetting anybody else? Any other
retired teachers?
Oh, retired teachers. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. So, thank you for coming because this work is really important. And so a little bit about me. I work early learning through 8th grade. I go to 15 schools across our area around here. So we have Arlington Heights, Mount Prospect, Des Plaines, and Elk Grove Village. And I work alongside teachers, administrators, literally everybody. And we work inside our classrooms to create safe environments. So the climate is also anything in regards to relationship building, a culture for learning, all of that. Okay? And then the social emotional learning, the explicit skill instruction. Before that, I was in the role of a special education resource setting. So I love always connecting to my peers at heart because that's where my heart always is. And how I kind of fell into mindfulness was I was really passionate, and then all of a sudden I lost my joy. I didn't know where my joy went, and I couldn't figure out why. And then it just started leading me towards like this mindfulness and yoga realm. So if you were to ask me if I'd be doing this a few years ago, I would have thought you were crazy because when I tried this in the past, I would get anxiety attacks, panic attacks. I can't touch my toes, so I felt really stupid in some of those classes. And so I would be like, no, never mind, I don't want to do this because I didn't understand what it was. And so by developing our personal practice and our passion for wellness, then we're able to make the difference in the lives of our kids. So that's a little bit about me. For our norms, I'm going to offer these up for us. If anybody wants to add on to them, please feel free. So for everybody just to listen with an open heart, we're all coming from different experiences. Some of you may be just starting, some of you may have been in the field of mindfulness for a while. To approach with a beginner's mind, maybe you've tried something and maybe just taking another approach to it. Taking risks. There will be a couple times I might put you a little bit out of your comfort zone and then bring you back. Ask questions and then respect self-care. So if at any time you need to be standing or sitting or moving or whatever you need, respect self-care. Anything else that you need or would like to add onto our norms here? Beautiful. And I will say, I recently did get my trauma-informed yoga piece too, so I always try to get the trauma lens in here, so that's my other passion. So this quote, go ahead and read it to yourself for a moment. And I will read it out loud. So creating something new is easy, but creating something that lasts is a challenge. We know, being in the field of education, that it's very easy for us to try something and then to try something else, right? Mindfulness and wellness shouldn't be that way because what we're trying to do is transform education. We're transforming the systems. So in order to do that, we have to take care in being able to transform that. So what I would like us to do is to take a mindful moment here. Okay? So wherever you are, go ahead and either sit or stand up tall, wherever you'd like. Placing your hands wherever is comfortable for you. And I'm going to ask us to be thinking about our intention as to why we're here in this session, in this conference, in this space. And then I'm going to be asking us to think bigger. So that's our route we're taking. So as you found this position that's comfortable for you, bring awareness maybe to your body in this space, maybe where your feet are. Maybe noticing if you're more leaning to the left or leaning to the right. Noticing maybe if you chose to sit in the back of the chair or the front or the stand. And maybe noticing where your breath is, because that tells us a lot. It tells us where we're at. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it warm? Is it cool? Maybe where it's coming from here. And then start creating that space within our mind to think through that intention. Maybe if you were here this morning, connecting it back to an intention of coming together as a community that Toby was able to share with us. And now taking that time to set your own intention. And as you've set that intention, think about how that connects to what you want to accomplish or support in accomplishing at your school, building, organization, wherever you are. What's that vision? Take a moment here. And as that becomes clear, or at least if you have a little bit of information that came to mind, you may open your eyes if they were closed as you're ready, and then write it down on a piece of paper, which in the middle of your table, there are handouts and little colored paper, squares or rectangles. Go ahead and write what came to mind, and if nothing did, maybe what you think you might want to work towards with your vision. Beautiful. Does everyone have that? And does anyone need a pen? I think it's precious. Honoring this time and space for you to do that. And if nothing's coming to mind at this point, you can totally leave it blank as well, because maybe it'll come to you later on. There's no right and no wrong to this. But this paper and whatever comes to mind will need to be in your heart today when we plan. Take one more moment, finish your last thought. And then as you finish this, go ahead and place your pen down. Place one hand on your paper, knowing that that's your intention. One hand, if you feel comfortable, on your heart. We're going to take one breath. One breath in to seal it in, and one breath out for the courage to make it happen. And then come on back to our space. And then, notice the stone that you picked. If you did not get a chance to, up front here, there are a bunch of stones on this blanket. Go ahead and pick one that resonates with you. And then I want you to take that stone, maybe do another little mindful moment, taking a look at it, noticing what you picked and why. Maybe the imperfections of it, maybe the smoothness of it. And then place that on your paper. And then leave it there for a moment. Because I want you to now picture you as that rock and that ripple here. This quote for my team that I'm with, they're small but mighty, there's 3 of us, which now recently it's more like 2 because my one moved way up. So now we're just a little bit smaller. So, but I alone can't change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. This was like our centerpiece for inspiration, okay? So I'm hoping today that maybe you even keep the stone put in another place to remind you of what the impact you can have. Mother Teresa, she's great. Yeah. Okay. All right. So for those of you who may not know or have seen yet, there is a new book that came out from our coalition. One of the chapters in there is chapter 34 that I had the honor to be able to write and to share. So this ended up aligning to that by chance, actually. So you're going to get a little sneak peek of it. We're only going to be going through the first 3 phases because that is what our focus is on. But if you're wanting to find out more, just know that there are other levels that you can also look into that are available. Okay? So the first phase that we're going to be looking into is to embody mindfulness with integrity. Right? That's you. You being that ripple. Once that layer's there, then you move into phase 2. And that's finding those opportunities for adult wellness. You gotta get them both. Then you have learning together, phase 3. You're learning, you're swimming together, you're learning to steer this project that you're working on within our mindfulness realm. Then you're growing that network of passionate partnerships, forming that crew. Making sure you have that patience, persistence, and presence, because we're going to have those waves, we have resistance, we have all of that coming through, and how that impacts our work. And then reflection and refinement, right? This is when you're going to go into and admire the ocean. You're going to go deeper. That's the lovely thing. We still haven't explored the whole ocean. That's why you're going to go deeper, because there's so much to learn and you never stop. So as I mentioned, all of these phases, and it was kind of hard to see in the back, but the purple around, all of that goes into developing the climate and culture. All of those layers. The first 3 are focused on adult wellness. All right. So here's our layers here. I'm going to share about my experiences. Then you are going to plan for your experiences. And then you have our steps that are going to be the action plan. So also in the middle of your table are the action plan. There are digital copies of this, so Tracy sent out a link to the folder. I did add mine in there, so if you do want a digital copy, you have access to it in that folder, okay? Phase 1, embodying mindfulness with integrity and being that ripple. So again, if you don't have a stone, I will make sure you do. You will need this. Go ahead and pick one. Do you have one in the back? Go ahead and pick one. You got it. So here's a tool that you might find interesting, and maybe you might want to take it back and do it with your staff or for adults, because that little voice inside our head that tells us don't do it, that's pretty loud most of the time. And we need a tool to make it stop. At least that's been my experience. So this tool allows us to change our mindsets first. Now, most of us here have probably a pretty strong mindset about thinking about how we're going to embed mindfulness and sharing it with the people around us, but either way, you will come up with resistance. And so if you're finding you don't have a lot of limiting thoughts with it, think about the limiting thoughts that would be placed on you from others. Does that make sense? And do any of you know Anna Day Judith's work? Oh, she's kind of, again, this is what this is based off of, but I adapted it so that it's accessible for all people, but that's who I adapted this from. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. On that paper that you wrote your intention with, and this is like your vision or goal of what you would like this to be. Put that in front of you. So this one example, I might have written on my paper, my intention is to have mindful moments across every school in my district. Okay, so whatever yours would be. Then you're going to take that stone, and we're going to move to the limiting thoughts. So you want to feel in your heart first how your intention feels. It feels pretty nice. But now we're going to move it. So limit 1. So either say out loud by whispering or at a voice level that you want to hear. We are going to put this out there because in order to name it, we have to hear it. And in order to make it stop, we have to do something about that too. Okay? So think about if I were to put, there will be mindfulness happening in all of my schools that I work with. Limiting thought. You're one person. How is that going to work? Well, then another limiting thought might come into play. You don't have enough time for that. Why would you even think that you have the ability to? Next thought. Nothing else is coming to me, so I'll just stay over here. All right. So those would be my limiting thoughts. So I want you to think about your limiting thoughts on yours right now and do the same thing. And then we'll come back in about a minute, because that might take you a minute to get to the other side. And let me go ahead and put this on for some music, because it's a little bit different when you have to say these things out loud. You want a safe environment. So go ahead. And what are some of those limiting thoughts that are coming to mind? Take a risk. Ooh. Back. Whatever limiting thoughts those were, let's get rid of them. Okay, so now bring the stone back in the middle and state your intention again. It may feel different now because now you've kind of torn it apart. Okay, so now we have to rebuild that so that you know this is more powerful than this. So we would move it over here. Yeah, I am one person. But I have the ability to be that ripple, and it only takes one person to make a difference. Will be my stone. Sure, I may not have a lot of time, but in regards to time, maybe there are structures within my day that I can have other people feel empowered to help me. See if anything else comes up. You have the ability and resources, you just need to find the right places for them, and you have the ability to do this and be successful. Go ahead and find and try those counter statements. Those are your courageous counter statements. So either say them by whispering, or even out loud at a voice level 2, whatever you feel you can do for yourself. Finish your last one. Right, we can bring it back. Okay, so now read your goal statement one more time, your intention. How does it feel now? And notice that there's been a shift. Again, this is a really interesting tool to use because it's always going to come up. You know, even with students, you can use this. That's positive self-talk because we're validating what they're feeling in reality and how we can make it so that they have the ability to move forward. Okay? So feel free to take this with you. So now I'm going to ask you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Do you have a mindfulness or wellness practice? Just in your mind. So then how do you integrate mindfulness into your day and how would you like to? So again, thinking about the adult wellness piece, for me, I always wondered like how those people who are always so calm and happy enjoyed their day and what they did. I didn't know. So I decided to analyze my own day and share what I'm doing because I've been able to be that calm, happy person lately, I feel like. So, and then afterward, we're gonna have a moment here for you to plan what's called the bronze, silver, and gold plan. If you want to take a little preview, it's on the action plan. So this is going to be our first step. So what you're going to see are like all of my options that I do personally. And that's a part of, some of them are my bronze, some of them are gold, some of them are my silver. But this might also be a tool you might want all of your staff to do because we rarely commit to self-care practices. Right? So if we have everybody, if we give them the opportunity to reflect on that, they're more likely to have those moments, and even that non-negotiable, even if it's one thing. And then for those who just came in, there are handouts on the table. Beautiful. Yep. So, here we go. I've not shared this with others before. Let's see. So, we want to be mindful, we want to be the ripple. So here is my day, because we want to ABC, always be connected to ourselves. So 5 o'clock, by 5 o'clock I do wake up. I didn't used to, but now I do, because that's so valuable, because that seems to be the only time I have to myself. And I don't have kids. So for those who have children, like, it's hard to wake up at that time, but also it's so important because the kids aren't up yet, right? And so when I wake up at this time, I'll either do a beams reflection, which is a model that a group of us have created. Maybe someday we'll write a book about it. We're considering it. I might do something on Mind Valley, which is like service to others and personal growth. I might light a candle in the morning, which I never thought to do, because we normally do that at night. And for some reason that has like changed how I even start my day. I might do some meditation or yoga and then have some tea. All right. I feel pretty good when I start that way. My breathing beads are normally with me at any time. And I might read. And then the Stop, Breathe, and Think app. A lot of you might use the Calm app. This one is another one that I absolutely love, and it's so easy to use. So, again, there's also a student version as well. So then by 5:40, I've done my morning routines, where I have a specific music playlist, and it gets me like motivated. The first 2 songs you hear, that was part of my music playlist here. It kind of gets me motivated. I make it quiet so I can actually eat my breakfast and know this is my bagel and this is my apple, and I'm going to be right here because when I get at school, I'm going to be distracted by a lot of other things, and how can I stay present? Affirmations and going from there. Then I get to work. Yay. Because I travel to 15 schools, I had to figure out how I can stay present without adding time to my day, because the morning I've already woken up pretty early. So, again, I might just like be breathing during the day. When I'm walking, I like to like breathe in every like 4th or 5th or 6th step, and then I'll breathe out. So when I'm like walking between classrooms, so that's been something. I'm sharing this because what you could be doing right now is thinking about what you can be thinking about for your own wellness, and then to think beyond the box to share with other adults in your space, okay? Mindful transitions, the intentions, and visualizing, and the pause. So then sometimes, do any of you do like morning announcements with the mindful moments yet? Oh, okay. So this is something that some of the schools and principals have started. And I've done coaching cycles with them. So there's one of the administrators I know that I'm speaking of right now. She wanted to learn how to do this. So she was able to, I did a coaching cycle with her on the morning announcements on how to do the mindful moments together in an inclusive way. They also do the video announcements. So that's even a more powerful way to engage the whole school for them to be able to see if you have that opportunity. Let me highlight norms, just like how we started norms here. What if, in an ideal world, we all had like mindfulness as a norm? To be in our meetings with each other, being fully present, right? Starting your professional learning, even if it's just 1 breath or 3 breaths, how that can change the dynamic of a meeting within staff. But a lot of that does come to our administrators, right? And they're supporting this. So thank you for those who are administrators and supporting. And then also leading those mindful moments. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. So then after work, I'll try to do something outside of my house on a gold day. Doesn't always happen though, right? And then when it's more of a bronze day, I always just make sure that I just take a breath before I go to sleep. And then I journal when I can. So this is my day. And I didn't realize all the stuff that I was doing. So maybe you might want to journal, like even if it's one thing. And I didn't used to be this way, I would do like one thing. But the fact of shifting our minds that we have time and where is that unique time, finding that. All right. And the reason why is because we are all mirrors. The students in our environment reflect our system, our nervous system. So if we are mindful in here, the whole room is mindful in here with you, right? So it's just very important for that. For those of you, have any of you read this book, The Courage to Teach, by Parker Palmer? Oh, this one, you know, this is like version, I don't know if it's like 2 or 3, but it's been a while, been around for a while, but there's a quote in here about like the mirror. I just love it. It's a deeper book, but it talks about how we need to be okay with ripping off our layers and ourselves so that we can better address the needs of our kids. But I just love this quote, I have to share it. So it says, teaching holds a mirror to the soul. If I'm willing to look in that mirror and not run from what I see, I have a chance to gain self-knowledge. And knowing myself is as crucial to good teaching as knowing my students and my subject. Love that quote. So, good resource if you're looking for a book to explore a little bit more. So, 5 minutes. I want you to think about your self-care, your mindfulness, your wellness, and think about on your plan, what would you like to commit to with your bronze, silver, and gold? Okay, I'll set the clock up here. Go with whatever that sound wants to do. Alright, so here, this is like, what is your non-negotiable? No matter what. Bronze is no matter what, every day, what can you commit to? Even if it's 1 rep, or is it like when you walk to like your car? What's something you non-negotiable? The silver is like average day. Like my typical day, I want to be able to do some different pieces. What can I try? Yes, basically. This one might be like, I'm okay if I don't get to it all the time, but my average day I can try. And then gold is like the best day, how you can like manage that. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to try to change this here, because I don't want this out. Minutes for this planning. If we need more time, I don't think I'm going to give that to you because I want to make sure we get to the other pieces. You're welcome. This is a reminder. We all said about what you want to do and how we can add further. And then we did our beliefs, challenging what that limiting thought might be, and how to have a courageous countering thought to it. So that's awesome. How are we doing? Because if we get done before that part, we can also expedite the 5 minutes, but I want to respect the time and give to you what I say. You're good? Yeah. So this part I created. These I learned and adapted from Read for Change, which was the training that I did for educators, but for everybody. So I adapted that and made it my own. So yeah, no, this is just my brain. This was from Anna Day Judith. She's a person, but it was just
that's
really
funny.
cool. Yeah.
I know who she is. When you said her name, I knew it.
Yes. Anna Day Judith.
So
she's very much known for that, and I love this activity that she shared with others, and I wanted to adapt it because we can't obviously talk about chakras at school and all of that versus what we want for secularity, right? Yes. All right. We good? ANODEA. And then Judith. Yeah, if you're looking for your own your own inner work, she's a great resource for that. Yeah.
Which work was based on that? The stone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that
Is it which one?
solar plexus chakra?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's your willpower.
Yeah, I'm just connecting and Judith, which one that would be.
Lovely. All right. So make your final thought there. And it looks like most of our pencils and pens are down, so I'm going to move forward, okay? Don't want to rush us, but I want to make sure you walk away with some other pieces. So the next phase, which is to create opportunities for adult wellness. So here are the stepping stones, I like to call them, for what we did as a district. I say we, but really me. Yes, I wear a lot of hats, but this somebody had asked where I got this from. My head. I'm a coach. My brain and ideas go everywhere, so this is what it was. I want to put this out there. This is what kept me going. My mindset is, it is worth it even if one person comes. Because when I would do things and offer things, I would be like, oh, it's like almost 7:30. We have one person in here. So it's okay, because guess what? That one person has 20 students times 20 years of teaching. That's what, 400 kids? So great. Because if you keep showing up, trauma lens keep showing up, you create that ability for more people to come when they're ready. It's the organic piece. Everything is when people are ready. So you want to maybe have a weekly opportunity. Some of you might do Thoughtful Thursdays. Yes? Oh, cool. Okay. Thoughtful Thursdays, or a Mindful Monday, or whatever you feel calls your name. I would host this. They're just little mini mindful moments to start the day, or end the day, or before lunch, or recess, or whatever grade level you're supporting. They're just 10, 20 minutes, and just sharing a tool so that people can experience it, because most of the time we're coming from these different experiences and people have their own interpretation of what mindfulness is. So this allows you to kind of start chipping away those misconceptions. Okay? Then, I used to call them cohorts, but then I realized I learned that was actually way back when, I want to say it was a war term, so I learned about cohorts. So you might want to have a monthly cohort of teachers. With that, I created the Morale and Mindfulness Committee. It's now changed to learning sessions. But a group of people coming together who are your people, right? You're here for the same work and you're wanting to take action. I'll explain this a little bit further in a moment. So there were pre-sessions of movement for adult wellness. There was the actual learning piece, which was based off of, anybody? Onward? Oh my goodness. Yes, this was the book that changed my trajectory of this. I based my whole committee off of this book. It's from, the author is Elena Aguilar. What's it called? Onward, Cultivating Emotional Resilience in Educators. Lovely. Yes. So I know it's kind of a scary book because it's like big, but how this is structured is per month of the year and what teachers feel and go through and supporting their emotional places, the journeys that we take. And there's actually a companion workbook to this too. You can find that, but you get a lot from the book, so you don't have to get the workbook. And your imagination. I definitely will. And how about this? I'll do one better. What is the number one thing that you need to do within our phases? Because without it, everything else will fail. Say it again.
Read.
Sure.
Set an intention.
Set an intention.
Self-care.
What? Say it again.
Self-care.
Correct. Self-care. You will get this book. So she's going to get this, but I will pass it around. So this is going to be yours. Okay? But let's start it here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, wait. Seriously, great book. Okay. So having a monthly opportunity. Because I'm everywhere, I tried like the Thoughtful Thursdays. I committed myself to a building and opened it up for everybody, but it was hard logistically to do that. So now I'm starting to do these like pop-up experiences. So for those of you, even if you don't feel like you can lead it, pop-up, it's a pop-up experience,
Yeah,
you know?
I like it.
Hey, I'm at your building. I will do like an announcement. I'm at your building today in about 10 minutes. Go ahead and join me in the lounge. We'll do just a few moments together if you want to start your day off. Right? So like, they're pop-up experiences. Plus it gets different times of day. You just never know when it happens because as educators or support or whatever lens you're looking through, our day changes moment by moment. So maybe you thought you'd go to the Thoughtful Thursday, but you realized something happened and you couldn't go and you're, oh, here's a random experience. Okay, I'm gonna go. All right? So that was kind of a thing that I've taken this year. Having professional learning time, some of the buildings have now made like self-care like day with stations. So different like staff will like support different people in different ways. We all have different gifts to share. Even if you just open up a space with paper and a journal and ta-da, you have a session, okay? So just finding those little small moments. And I'm gonna skip that part. You have this in that folder, but I wanna give you an opportunity here to explore the action plan phase 2. Yes, great. So now on your action plan phase 2, there are 6 steps and guiding questions. You're not gonna get through all of them. I'm only giving you probably not even 10 minutes, but at least know how to frame your thinking when you're planning these moments for adult wellness. These 6 steps were based off of an experience that I had with Create for Change. I was sharing this with Karen. And so I got my certification to teach yoga through Breathe for Change, which was, I'll just give a little mini plug. So it's an organization that's developed by educators, for educators, or anybody who's in the field of education that likes to be in the field of education, even parents. Because they teach you how to do yoga through the lens of educators, so that you know how to approach different subjects in a secular way, okay, and pieces like that. So then I adapted it and made it my own. All right, so you're more than welcome to use this. Give credit if you can. Breathe for Change, or B4C, you'll see that around too. It might be my next. Here, Breathe for Change, that side. And when you look at these tools, if you click on this, you'll like this. If you click on this, they offer free tools like meditations, videos, scripts for how to lead mindful moments. You can do that with staff, you can do that with kids, okay? So if you click this, it's all free, the resources. You just have to put in your email. So Tracy, the founder for COSM, she's going to send it out again. She's going to send out a folder that says like present your materials. Inside there, you'll have a blank copy of the action plan. There is a blank, larger copy of the bronze, silver, gold, and how to use it, and the presentation. Yep, you're welcome. So go ahead and take a few moments just to peruse those questions. If you want to take a moment to action plan any of that, cool. But I'm going to gauge you all, and it looks like we're not planning, so that's okay. Let's keep giving you information before our time is up. But I would encourage you here, I'm going to put this out there. Commit yourself 15 minutes sometime today, sometime before Monday. Sometime before Monday. Think about it. When you're going to look at those questions and at least jot down your thoughts. Because even if you're wanting to go big scale or little scale in regards to wellness with adults, it doesn't matter. Those questions still are the same. 15 minutes. Is it in your mind? Is it in your mind? Okay, all right. So we shared about this. So this is what the committee or learning sessions look like. Year one, this was last year, so my role was developed 3 years. This is going on year 3. Last year, I found my passion, and so this is where I'm at. And then year 2 is now, okay? Year 1. So we focused just on adult wellness. We introduced staff to mindfulness. We created a common definition together as a district through that committee of what mindfulness is. And really my favorite with the kids definition. Mindfulness is here and now. That's all you need. Each month was based on the onward themes. The sessions would revolve around that. And the staff would also know that some of those sessions were completely a mindful movement. We don't use the word yoga because some people have different experiences with what that word means, so we use mindful movement or other types of options. But this specific one was for the mindful movement because we could. And it was staff driven, voluntary. Yes, this was all voluntary.